What is up, everyone? I'm back here with Anything Financial. We're going to make another mortgage-related, financial-related video. Before this video, which is going to be about the first-time homebuyer incentive, we really need you to go and check the pre-approval video we made earlier and uploaded. That video will really give you a good idea of why this incentive is important and why you need to get pre-approved. So make sure you check that video out. And without further ado, Nolan, really high level, what are we going to be really breaking down this video?
So we're going to be talking about how to qualify for the incentive, as well as the payback methods, the payback amount of time, as well as the total amount funded for the incentive. So
and also what is the incentive?
Okay, yeah, cool. So I guess to start it off, the more important or the main factor, what is incentive, guys?
Essentially, the first-time homebuyer incentive was created to help get rid of the financial burden associated with buying a home, especially being a first-time homebuyer. So it's basically allowing you to have a smaller down payment as well as a lower monthly mortgage cost, and
it just makes it more affordable for people to buy homes, I guess.
Yes, specifically first-time homebuyers.
Yeah, so the millennials and all those guys. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So Nolan, how does this even work? What's the percentages? What do you need to get this incentive?
Yeah, so to qualify, it comes with a lot of stuff, but so 5% down, you have to have regardless. That's the minimum down payment you have to have.
So 5% of the purchase price.
Yeah. So just to qualify, you have to come up with that 5%, right? But the government is willing to give up to 5% when you buy pre-owned properties.
Okay.
And then they're willing to give up to 10% of the property price for pre-construction or new construction.
Okay, so you have that government giving you the down payment basically.
Yeah.
So does that just mean that hey, I don't have a down payment? Does that mean that I can just get a down payment, or what does that mean?
Again, you still have to come up with that 5%.
Okay, but they just incentivize you for
They'll
it.
help out.
Okay, got it.
Let me
bring down.
Let me give you an example. Say you wanted to buy a $400,000 property,
yeah,
and you were able to get 10% of that. So you'd be receiving $40K from the government specifically on a shared equity mortgage, and then you still have to come up with that either 5 or 10% down payment. Essentially, what they're doing is just lowering your monthly mortgage costs as well as allowing you to have that lower down payment.
Because they're coming up with the other 10%.
Yes.
Okay, and the 10%, where do we just get to keep that? Would you have to pay it back? How does that work?
So throughout the 25 years, you can pay that throughout the 25 years, you can pay that 10 to 5% back to the government.
Okay.
Kind of however you want, and then if you sell the house, they'll just take their 5 to 10% of the house that they
got it.
have, right?
Okay, cool. So they essentially own 5 to 10% of the house with
basically, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
So let's say the property goes up in value, right? They still have that 5 to 10%.
Yeah.
But again, you can always pay it off, and if the property somehow goes down in value, they're going to ride the wave with you and still take that hit, right? They're not going to ever just abandon you, basically.
So if you fully pay it off, do they still own that percent of the property?
No,
so then it's fully yours.
No, regardless, if you're planning on keeping that house forever, you have to pay it off within 25 years.
Okay, and then after you pay it
but
off,
if you do sell it, they'll take their part of
right.
course.
Okay,
yeah. But once it's bought off, it's all yours, right?
Yeah.
So,
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And again, it's only up to 10% of the house that they'll actually
give you.
So.
Okay, cool.
Which is actually impactful because it's allowing as of right now, the prices in, for example, the GTA are kind of outrageous, and obviously
a lot of people are struggling.
So this incentive really just helps get, again, millennials, people who may never have even thought of buying a house, now it gets them thinking.
And
it just shows that anyone can get into a house. You just have to qualify, right?
For the down payment,
and just make sure you're serious about it. So
And as of right now, the average first-time home buyer is age 29. So with this first-time home buyer incentive, it definitely will lower that.
It will help for sure, yeah.
Allowing more millennials to get into home.
So Khalil, why don't you tell me? I know there's probably so many differentiating factors and all these different things. What's maybe one of the things or a few things that you need to know so that you qualify for this incentive?
For this incentive, so one of the main qualifications you need to have is your family household income cannot exceed $120,000.
Oh, okay.
Another qualification is the debt has to be repaid, as well as you have to come up with that minimum 5% down payment.
Okay, so
those are the three main qualifications that come with this first-time homebuyer incentive.
With the first-time homebuyer incentive, the government was willing to fund $1.25 billion over the next 3 years to help Canadians across the Canada.
Helping Canadians get into
helping
homeownership.
Canadians.
So hold on, wait a second. Over 3 years, so that means if you don't get this incentive within 3 years, something's gonna change. What does that really mean? I guess there's no info on it.
Yeah, there's not really too much again, we can always follow up on this, but yeah, within right now, it's been announced that for over the next 3 years, there is $1.25 billion being committed to getting Canadians into houses. Right?
So that means that, like, if you're really thinking about it or you're on the fence, you really have 3 years to take advantage of these new guidelines, these new rules. So again, guys, it just really proves to show that if you are someone who's looking to get into home ownership or who needs to get pre-approved or whatever you're looking at, it's so essential to take the right steps, talk to the right people, and get the right information, just so it makes everyone's life easier. Because you don't want to be running around thinking that you need, 20% down and you need all this money, when realistically, you already have everything that you need, but you just never knew about it. And you really want to make sure you know absolutely everything to really streamline this process, because as a first-time home buyer, this is probably one of the most stressful things. Like, other than maybe going and getting like a degree from university, this is probably your biggest investment and the most amount of money you're ever going to spend up to this date. So you really want to make sure that when you're making that first purchase, it goes through well, all the financing is done well, the house is perfect, everything is perfect. So the most important part to getting a house is paying for it and getting the mortgage and all that stuff. So with these new rules, it really makes it easier. Again, as these guys said, 5% down, the household income, all that type of stuff. So it's just really important to know and really keep track of.
Yeah, and with the biggest transaction within your life, realistically, right?
Yeah.
You do want everything to be A-okay and everything to check out on time and follow the proper procedures, right? So yeah.
So guys, obviously there's a lot of different factors like credit and income and all that stuff, and obviously every situation is going to be unique. So guys, if you are looking to learn more about this incentive or really break down your current situation and see what actually you can get personally, where can they find you guys?
Anything Financial on Instagram.
On Instagram, and
as well as www.anythingfinancial.ca.
So do you guys maybe want to talk about like why it's important to really talk to someone and break down your current situation as opposed to just looking at the general rule of thumb, like why that's more important in terms of like, what you can personally qualify for and all that stuff?
Essentially, it's like getting pre-approved.
It paints a more vivid picture for everyone within the scene of, the home buyer, who you're buying the house from, the people helping out. Right? You just want that fully painted picture so everything can go according to plan, right? You don't want something to come up that you would never expect, and now you're like upset or whatever comes, right?
Basically, it just puts everything into perspective as well as lets you know your options and what you have available to you.
Yep, and again, guys, if you haven't already checked out the video we made on why you should get pre-approved, go check it out, because getting pre-approved is something that will save everyone a lot of time, emotions, and money. So make sure you guys go check that out. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. You probably know someone, maybe someone who went to your university classes or your friend or your cousin or something who's probably going to get into home ownership sometime soon. The only thing we ask is if you guys did find this video valuable, please share it around, leave a like below and comment, and let us know if there's anything else you guys need. If you need help from me as a realtor or them as mortgage agents or just anything in general, obviously reach out to us, send me a DM on Instagram, whatever that is, and we'll get you guys sorted. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.